What's up, guys? I'm Ben Hale with Easy Living Yards, and today I want to share with you some awesome gift ideas for landscaping and gardening. If you're looking for a gift for somebody that's starting out in landscaping with their own yard, DIY landscaping, or looking to start a garden or pretty new in that space, basically anybody that has a yard, right? These are items that are awesome as gift ideas if they don't have them already. Hey, real quick, I just want to let you know, I'm Ben Hale with Easy Living Yards, and Easy Living Yards, here I teach you how to have a beautiful, low maintenance, eco-friendly landscape so you can enjoy more time doing what you love, living with purpose and intent, so you can go out and make a positive change in the world. That's what I'm all about here, and so I want to share these ideas as a Kickstarter for helping you make that positive change too. So let's get into it. We're just jumping on, while I'm recording this, into getting close to the Christmas season, and so you know, a lot of people are thinking about what gifts to get for their friends, family members, that sort of thing, or maybe for yourself too, right? So these are wonderful ideas for those people in your life, including yourself. Sometimes it's nice to treat yourself too, right? So that's okay. All right, so before I jump into sharing these ideas with you, I want to let you know I have links to all of these items if you go on over to easylivingyards.com/episode 94. easylivingyards.com/episode 94. I have links to all of these items. A lot of them, I will let you know, are affiliate links, which means your support for my show, my brand and business, by clicking on these links, basically I get a small referral fee commission. As you can tell, these are all items I use and recommend. So, you know, these are items I want to be clear that I want to give you the most trustworthy and useful opinion. And so this is a wonderful way to support me at no cost to you. Basically, it gives me a small referral fee if you go over to, say, like Amazon or something like that. Now, if you don't want to, that's fine too. Still, I want you to use these recommendations. You can easily search for these items as well if you prefer to go that route. So let's jump right in. I want to start with basic ideas. Okay, so basic items. If somebody's brand new, just got a new house, this is a welcome home gift, right? Welcome to your new home, or somebody just wants to start with transforming their landscape. They don't have the items that they might necessarily need, or they want to get into gardening. These are great ideas. First off, you want to start with a trowel, all right? This is something everybody needs. Whether you have a balcony or 20 acres, you need to have a trowel. All right, this is the basic item for planting a plant. If you don't have a trowel, it's really easy to get one. This guy, I think, was 99 cents. All right, this is a wonderful one. It's made by Fiskars. I don't know if Fiskars is still making these or not. If they are, that's awesome, because this is a wonderful one. You can also find another comparable composite material, plastic material trowel for right around 99 cents to $2. These are awesome. I actually recommend these over the mid-tier ones if you're looking for, like, say, one that's metal, that has like a stamped metal blade with a welding to the handle. I really don't recommend those because the weld always breaks, or that stamped metal blade always bends. So these are actually a better buy. So go for the cheaper one. These are awesome stocking stuffer. So check out these trowels if you'd like a nice basic starter gift. Everybody needs a trowel. You can't have too many of them. My kids, this is actually my oldest son's trowel I got for him. These get lost. They find them 2 weeks later in the yard somewhere before they get run over by the lawnmower. And these are amazing. So you can't go wrong with one of these. Go ahead and get one of these. Now, if you want a nicer gift, nicer trowel, this is one of my favorites. This is one made by Corona. Corona makes some amazing tools. This is an aluminum trowel, so it's super lightweight, but it's a solid molded aluminum trowel. So basically one solid piece of metal goes all the way through the handle with a rubberized grip, of course, that's contoured to your hand, so it's a nice wonderful grip. When you're planting a lot of plants, that makes a difference, and so it keeps you from getting blisters and stuff, keeps you good grip on that handle. A solid metal one is, especially if you have heavy soils, it really makes a difference. But don't go for those middle ones with the welded blade, the flimsy blade. This is a nice solid piece of material. This guy's only going to run you like 12 to 15 bucks anyway, so it's not too bad. Maybe 20 bucks, I can't remember off the top of my head. Not too bad, but a really nice gift. Again, I'd recommend this one or the super cheap one. All right, let's move on. So next thing you need, of course, it's hard to do any landscaping work without a nice quality shovel. So your standard pointed shovel is really important for landscaping projects. Get one with a good sturdy shank right here. So it really goes up the handle a little bit. It prevents breakage of the handle right here. Some you'll get with a fiberglass handle, some with wood. I like the good classic wood ones for some reason. Maybe it's nostalgia. This one does have a nice rubberized grip up top, which is really nice, but not necessary. What you really want to look for is a tempered blade. All right, so you don't want one of those standard stamped blades that's a little bit, they're a little bit thicker, and they don't go to as nice of an edge at the end. So you want a nice tempered one. They really make a big difference. True Temper makes some nice shovels. I can't remember, the branding is worn off this one since, so I can't remember exactly what brand this one is right here, but a nice tempered shovel really goes a long way to making a difference. A standard pointed spade, some people call these a spade or a pointed shovel, really makes a nice difference. Long handles are really good too, just for extra reach when you're digging and stuff. Really makes a difference. Some come with a short handle with a flat grip on the end. Those work too. I really like the nice long handled ones. Okay, so you've got 2 trowels that we've gone through. You got a shovel, other basic tools you need. Okay, if we're sticking with the basics, of course, you need a garden hose, right? A good quality garden hose makes a huge difference. You do not want to cheap out on a garden hose. You're going to deal with kinking, you're going to deal with issues, leakage. They're just not going to last. This one is one of those standard heavy duty garden hoses. You want a really good quality heavy duty garden hose. So go with the ones in the store that say heavy duty commercial grade as well. And you want a nice solid metal connection, so those hold up over time. They really work if you get the nice good solid metal connections. So you can see these guys really hold up. This is a stiffer one. Usually with those heavier grade ones, they're a little bit stiffer, but they really make a difference. And so they prevent kinking. This hose actually is one I inherited from my grandfather. And so I don't even know how old this thing is, but it's old and it still works great. It doesn't leak. The connections work great as well. It really makes a difference to have a really nice, good quality hose. If you're not getting the one I linked to in the show notes here, again, over at easylivingyards.com/episode 94, you want to make sure you go online, check the reviews for the hose first before you go ahead and purchase it in the store. All right, so let me show you, for example, this is a poor quality hose. So this is your standard garden hose, and I have this one. It's really stiff, you can see. It's like gotten weathered in the sun basically, and now it doesn't even bend. Look at this, it's crazy. So it's got permanent kinks in it that finally just recently I was using this and it busted through. So these things, the cheap ones, are just not worth it. They're not going to last you very long. The connections, they're really tough because they end up, even though they look the same, they're not as good quality, so they're flimsier, they break easier. You can see this one, even though it looks kind of nice, it has plastic on it. These don't hold up as well over time. So this one, it leaks in the middle, it leaks at the ends. It's trash now, basically. So get a good quality hose. It's gonna be worth it in the long run. Like, look at this thing, it's a giant mess, all right? So get a good quality hose. I really haven't tested those like shrinky ones that expand out and shrink back. I'm not gonna recommend those because I'm not familiar with them, but get a good, solid, quality garden hose. It's really gonna make a difference. Now, sticking to the basics again, a standard hose sprayer. This thing is super cheap. You can get them. You can get cheap ones for about, like $5 or $6. They work. They have like all the settings where you turn it and it does all the different things. Now, what I'm going to link to, it's on my wish list, is a nicer version of this. This one works. It does okay. I've had it actually for several years and it's worked just fine. So those cheap ones work. The one I'm linking to is going to be a little bit nicer, a little bit quality materials, but you really need a sprayer for your landscaping projects. They really do a nice job of taking care of things. All right, sticking to basics, another thing we need is a good quality pair of gloves, okay? So I've got 3 pairs of gloves here to talk about. Starting, just some basic split leather gloves. These, again, I got really nice inheritance. These are from my grandfather. Thanks, Grandpa. So these are years and years old and they still hold up. So getting good quality split leather gloves really makes a difference. If you just get the cheapos, I have plenty of cheapo pairs of gloves at the big box store and they wear out. The palms wear out, the fingers break through. It's crazy how poorly made they are. So you really want to get some good quality ones. These are a little bit stiffer, but they work, you know, you can see they fit fine. And these are for rougher work, of course. So when you're doing stuff with logs, you know, wood, rocks, hauling stuff, these prevent blisters, they prevent smashed fingers. They're really, really worth it. Okay, now of course you can't do a lot of finer tasks with these things, but good quality leather gloves go a long way. These are a brand called Wells Lamont, and they make some really nice gloves. Spend a little bit more on some nice quality split leather gloves. Trust me, it's worth it. All right. Again, it's not going to break the bank. These are gifts we're talking about, right? They're people we care about, whether it's you or somebody else. These are people we care about, so we want to get some nice quality products, right? We don't want cheapo stuff that's just going to fall apart. Okay, so the next gloves I'm going to recommend are look at how flexible these things are. These are nitrile coated cloth gloves. So they have cloth all through the glove, and then on the front, they have nitrile palms. It's kind of like this rubbery, kind of plasticky material. It's better, you know, than latex because it doesn't provide the allergy things that people have allergies to latex, right? Now, these will wear out over time, but they're great gloves, okay? And so I've had these for, I think this one pair, a little over a year. Like they're finally starting to wear out in the corner here. They got a hole. I don't know if you can see that. These are awesome gloves, okay? So when you need more dexterity for the finer tasks, especially when it's getting cooler or when you don't want to just, you know, get super messy or whatever, these are great for gardening, great for landscaping, great for just work around the home. I even wear these things when I'm cutting the grass and stuff because they're just awesome. All right, so these ones are called Atlas gloves by a company called Showa, S-H-O-W-A. I'll have a link in the show notes. They run you about $6 to $12 depending on where you find them. They come in all sorts of colors. They're wonderful gloves. So I love these when I'm doing any sort of outdoor work. These are usually on my hands. So great gloves, great stocking stuffer. So check them out. All right, now of course I can't go without another pair of gloves, right? Just for more options. If you live in a cooler climate, it's not fun when your fingers get cold, you can't really do work. So this extends the season for when you can do work outside. These are split leather gloves with an insulated lining on them. So these have Thinsulate material, you know, that insulated stuff. 40 grams of Thinsulate is what the tag says. All right, so this is a brand called Midwest. Great gloves. They're really durable, really flexible too. So they hold up well, they keep your fingers warm. So get a pair of insulated leather gloves if you're doing any work outdoors and you need to extend the season when it's colder out. Okay, so sticking with the basics again, these are the things you need if you want to get started in landscaping, right? So another thing you really need to have, if you don't already, is a good quality drill. All right, a cordless drill really goes a long way. This is a little bit pricier, of course. So this is your standard basic Ryobi drill. I love this thing. I've had this for over 10 years. This house, we gutted it out, hung tons of square feet of drywall in this place, replaced subfloor with it. This drill is what did all that work. We built a whole 16 by 20 foot garden shed with this drill right here. It's fallen off ladders, it's gotten left out in the cold. The battery still holds up on this thing. I can't say enough good things about the Ryobi standard cordless drill. This thing's awesome. So it runs like a champ, and can't say enough good things about this. So again, this thing's super durable, super useful, all sorts of random projects. Now you think, okay, we're talking about landscaping here, we don't really need a drill, right? Well, this sidewalk right behind me, I just installed last year. We busted up the old sidewalk, put in a new one. Well, that frame for that new sidewalk got built with this drill. You don't know, you don't realize how often you need a drill. So drills are amazing. Look at this. Look, it's gonna work, all right? So great drill. Go get a Ryobi cordless drill for you if you don't have one, and also for your friends and your loved ones, okay? Everybody needs a drill, all right? It's like my most commonly used tool. Hammer and a drill. I do most of my work with either a hammer or a drill, right? Okay, so sometimes I use the drill as a hammer too, all right? Okay, so another thing you need to have is a good saw when we're talking about landscaping work. Now, blades covered, all right. Safety, right? We got to talk about safety too. So this is a nice quality pruning saw. Again, when we're talking about destroying your landscape first so you can build it back prettier, this is a wonderful tool to have. Everybody's got trees, right? Or a bush or something. Well, this saw will do the job, all right? This thing cuts super fast. This is a Fiskars one. Fiskars makes awesome cutting products. So it's got nice aggressive teeth on it. And this saw, I had a cheaper one and it just didn't hold up. And this one I've had for a couple years now. It's amazing, super sharp, it cuts super fast, and it has this nice cover too, which is really nice. Nice grip. I mean, you can hold this thing nice and solid, and really, I mean, it just cuts really aggressively, really fast. So nice pruning saw is well worth it. I think this guy ended up being about 30 bucks, and it's well worth the price. You know, there's saws out there for half the price and they just don't hold up. Get yourself a nice quality one, or your friend, of course, right? Let's face it, we're talking about gifts for ourselves right now, right? It's okay, it's okay. All right, so that's pretty much it for the super basics, all right? Let's talk about some advanced gifts for, you know, if you want to kind of expand things a little bit, right? Or somebody that has already the basic tools, right? They have a shovel, they have a trowel, they might have a pruning saw laying around. What else do you get them, especially if they're talking about doing some of these projects? This landscape behind me is brand new. It's about a year old now, just coming in. These beautiful asters just finished flowering. They were wonderful fall color. So this new front porch sidewalk turned out amazing. You can do projects like this too, or your friend might be doing projects like this. Well, here are some tools you really, really need around the space. Okay, so let's talk about hand tools. I'm gonna go pretty quick through these. A flat shovel. Now we talked about the pointed shovel, which you needed some high quality steel for, right? Well, this guy is your standard stamped shovel. It means it's, you know, it's thicker metal, a little bit softer metal, not as high quality, but this will do the job for a flat shovel. Basically, you need, you know, stuff you're scooping up flat, like mulch, rocks, gravel, that sort of thing. This really does a good job. This one I picked up this isn't a shameless plug or anything, but this is just a cheapo one I picked up at Menards. Works great, nice fiberglass handle. You can find these at pretty much any big box store, and the cheaper ones will do the job. Just again, make sure it has a nice solid shank to it. You see how the metal comes up here a decent amount. That's really important for support of the shovel. Likewise, a good quality handle attached to it too. So good quality shovel. You don't need to shell out as much or look for as high quality materials as your pointed shovel as well. So next thing, this is really handy to have, and not as many people have it. So this is a mattock. A mattock, some people call it an axe mattock. They call it a pick mattock, and adze. There's various forms of this, but basically what you want is a nice sturdy handle. I like the one where it has a kind of like an axe blade on the one side. This isn't a super sharp blade. What you want is a nice sturdy blade, because this basically what you're doing with this tool is you're digging out roots and rocks, okay? Stuff your shovel can't handle, but you don't want to mess up a super nice axe with too. On this side, it's basically another sharp blade, but it's turned sideways. So if I turn it like this, you can see, so here's this flat, kind of like a durable hoe. This is used for chopping at roots, digging out and prying out rocks. And then this side too is same, chopping roots out as well. So this is a super nice tool to have. Some have a pick on this end. I just happen to like both chopping blades. I also have a pick too, but some, at least as it has this horizontal digging blade, really, really handy to have at busting up super stubborn dirt, getting out those stubborn rocks, or roots as well, chopping through them. So when I'm chopping up roots, digging out like an old shrub or dead tree or something like that, both of these blades really come in handy. You can get away with just the one blade and a pick side too, so your choice, and it also depends on availability sometime. Good sturdy version of these, really nice. A lot of these come with a fiberglass handle now. Those work great, and a nice rubber thing here in case you miss your target, you don't break your handle. Those are really nice too. I just happen to have this one and I like it. Okay, so next we've got a basically this is a version, you call it a hay fork, a manure fork, whatever. There's different names for it, a pitchfork, right? Different versions. I like the ones with the thin tines here. These are great for scooping up things like coarse mulch, hay, straw, leaves, that sort of thing. Those are really wonderful things, especially when you're talking about low maintenance, eco-friendly gardening, compost as well, right? So you want one of these things, super handy at scooping up that lighter material and getting through it and hauling it out quick. So I'm going to set this one down a little more gently. Safety, right, guys? But these are super nice. This one is a brand called Cobalt, and really nice one. Again, same principles as your other hand tools. Just make sure they're nice and sturdy. You can see this is all one solid piece of material here. Really nice. I've had this for several years. It's held up great. Okay. Your other piece is a garden rake. You can find these at pretty much any gardening store, and they're really nice to have, especially when you're talking about kind of flattening out material. You can also use it upside down, same thing, flattening out, spreading out stuff. Really handy to have in your garden. Okay. Also, we haven't talked enough about shovels, right? So this is a shovel. This is called your spade, a garden spade, and you can see it's much smaller. This is super handy when you're digging up sod, putting in borders, that sort of thing. So this is basically a rectangular piece of material. I left it dirty here. That's bad practice. Okay, so basically you have a little bit of a sharper edge than your flat shovel. This is actually a pretty good cutting edge. This will actually dig through some of your smaller roots pretty easily. You want a nice lip here too that you can kind of step on without hurting your foot. And I like the D handle on these too, and you can kind of get down low and dig up sod material, or you can put in your edging with this stuff too. This is a really handy shovel to have around. Again, not necessary, but it really makes your work easier, like all these other tools. Okay, so let's move on. Pruners. I'm surprised I didn't talk about these earlier, but a good quality set of pruners, bypass pruners, are really handy to have. Also, if you're talking about dealing with shrubs, loppers are basically your bigger version of these. Those are really nice too, but I didn't include it on this list. Instead, pruners will get you a long way. If you have a set of pruners and one of those pruning saws as well, you can get by doing most tasks. So this is a set of pruners from Tamper. These are nice. They're okay. They require a little maintenance. I have to keep these tightened here at the hinge. I just pulled these apart and sharpened them because they're about 8 years old now. They've held up really great. They're a good sturdy set of pruners, so I can't say any bad things about them. They have really comfortable grip, really nice. What I'm going to link to is a set of, since we're talking about gifts, the premium brand out there is a brand called Felco. It's on my wish list. I really want a pair, so let my wife know to give me a pair of Felcos. They're going to run you a bit more, but a good quality set of pruners. Corona makes some as well. Like I talked about Corona with that trowel earlier in my basic gifts video. So good set of pruners, nice sharp blade. A bypass basically means that the one blade kind of goes over the other side, and these are really great at cutting branches and shrub branches, roots as well, for up to say about an inch or so. You can manage with these, and so they're really nice. Really important to have a good set of pruners around. Okay, so another thing when you're talking about landscaping projects, a dead blow hammer, a dead blow mallet, whatever it is, basically it's got this shaky sand material inside of it, and so when it hits, it's kind of blunt. This is great for driving in stakes, like these concrete forms I made right behind us. When you're setting rocks or whatever, I made a little pathway right back here, laying down this path. I use this dead blow, so you're not breaking your nice pieces of fieldstone and that sort of thing. This is really helpful. So this is just a one I got. You can pick this up pretty much anywhere that sells tools. They have dead blow hammers or dead blow mallets, whatever you want to call them. So they're basically this soft rubbery plastic material on the outside, and then some loose sand inside that gives you the impact you need. This is I picked this one up at Harbor Freight. You can pick them up pretty much anywhere. So get yourself a nice dead blow mallet. This is one I love. Okay. This is a soil knife, okay? This I actually end up using a lot more than my trowel. So it's a lot of similar uses. So digging planting holes, breaking up tough soil after I dig a bigger planting hole. But you have to be a little more careful at it. Basically, it's a knife, right? So this is from a Japanese style called a hari knife, I think is what it's called. But basically, on one side, you actually have a sharp edge here, and on the other side you have a serrated edge, and then you have a nice point as well. This isn't as sharp as your typical knife, but you can see it's shaped like a knife, right? And this is great at, basically it's not as sharp because you're also using this for digging. So you can actually dig holes with this in the ground, and it does an awesome job. This one has a full metal shank all the way through with a nice sturdy grip, so you can really get some good digging going on. We have pretty dense clay here, and so this is awesome, especially in the drier season if I'm doing any work in the soil. This is awesome at getting those holes loosened up. So I really recommend this. This one comes with a really nice sheath as well. This is by a company called A.M. Leonard. So you can see there, A.M. Leonard is a wonderful landscape supply company. So this is a great product. All right. Got to be friendly with your neighbors, guys. All right. Next, watering can. Watering cans are awesome. You know, these are old standby. I actually really like these good solid metal ones. So this is a company called Barron's. This was on my Christmas list last year, and so I've only had this one for about a year. This is galvanized steel. It's going to last a long time. This one holds 3 gallons, so it's really awesome, especially if you have a new landscape or your garden. You know, this is great for hauling around, getting some good watering in. Those plastic ones just don't hold up as well, so I really recommend a nice quality watering can. This is like your old school one. I love it, and it's hard to beat some old school stuff sometimes. Like this thing, you can pour 3 gallons out of this thing and don't worry about it getting messed up. My kids throw it around everywhere. I don't have to worry about it getting messed up too. All right, so next, outerwear. So I can't say enough good things about my old school Carhartt coat. Fits super well, and more importantly, since I'm not one for style, is this thing is incredibly durable. I've had this one for about 15 years. Anytime I'm working out in the landscape where it's kind of cool, I wear this thing, and it holds up super well. It's, after 15 years, finally it's starting to like wear out in the corners here a little bit, but this thing is awesome, and I rip through clothes so fast. And so this thing prevents that from happening as quickly as it usually does. So next, a work lamp. If you're like me, inevitably when you have the availability to do work, it's not the ideal time. So I ended up, this landscape behind me here, I ended up installing a lot of it in the dark because I installed it after daylight savings time ended, and so when I'd get home from work, it was dark already. Well, I extended the ability of me to be able to get my project done faster with a work light. And this light's super useful on inside projects and outside projects. Now this one here, I don't recommend this specific one. This is, I think, a Utilitech brand. I think it's sold through Lowe's. This one's a halogen light. I recommend now they make LED ones, much lower energy usage for one. They don't get quite as hot. The bulbs don't burn out like these halogen ones. These halogen ones are kind of finicky. They draw a super high amount of current too. So if you're running a couple power tools off the same circuit, it'll trip your circuit breaker. So go out and get an LED one. I have a link to a really nice one that's also on my list as well. Again, let my wife know in case she can get me one of these too. So again, it's hard because this one works, and so I don't have the newer one, but they sound really nice. So get yourself an LED one instead of one of these. All right, so we're down to the last couple tools here. A wheelbarrow. You need to have a wheelbarrow. This should really be on the basic list. I'm going to come back a little bit so you can see it better. As you can see, the difference with this wheelbarrow is it has 2 wheels, right? Game changer, guys. Game changer. Get a wheelbarrow with 2 wheels. It makes a world of difference. Look at this. Watch. See this hand? This hand can hold tools. This hand can run after kids, that sort of thing. and I can still haul my wheelbarrow around. You can actually do it one-handed if you've got a load that's not a ridiculous amount of stuff, but a load that's moderate. You can do this one-handed while carrying tools, that sort of thing. It makes a huge difference. So this was a gift to me, and I can't say enough good things about this wheelbarrow. Remember that soil knife from A.M. Leonard? This guy's from A.M. Leonard as well. Two-wheeled wheelbarrow. It's so awesome that it actually has grease points on the wheel. All right, so once I saw it had grease points, I knew this thing was going to be awesome, and sure enough, it is. So these wheels are amazing, and having two wheels just adds the total amount of stuff you can carry in this thing is amazing. It makes a huge difference, and you have to spend so much less effort on trying to keep your wheelbarrow balanced that you can put a lot more material in it and haul it a lot faster. This thing has hauled, I'm not exaggerating, well over 10,000 pounds of material. I've had this for about 10 years now, and this wheelbarrow has hauled dirt, compost, rocks, concrete, mulch, soil, you name it. I don't know, whatever else you haul with these things. I've probably hauled it with this. I can't say enough good things. Now, I've kind of abused this thing too. I've left it out in the sun. This thing used to be bright orange. Now it's like a dull, like Easter orange. We'll call it Easter orange. And, I've thrown rocks into this thing. It's finally got a couple cracks in it, but it still holds up awesome. All right, this thing is super durable. I highly recommend it. So get a two-wheeled wheelbarrow. Get a high-quality one like this A.M. Leonard wheelbarrow. You won't be sad. All right, let me show you why. This is going to take me a minute, of course, because I have to... Oh, wait, look at this. One hand, right? Now let's try this. One hand. Oh, snap. Right? Okay. Here is why you get a good quality wheelbarrow. This is a True Temper, okay? Not to say anything bad. I recommended a True Temper shovel earlier, right? So I can say a bad thing about the True Temper wheelbarrow, right? Okay. This thing's like falling apart, okay, guys? The bolts where they attach are busted through, so it actually is coming apart. Look at this. The supports are bent right here, okay? The wheel, super wobbly and flat, all right? I've never had a flat in my other wheelbarrow. And of course it doesn't have a grease point, which is super cool, right? So, again, standard wheelbarrow, they work, they do the job. This one falls apart, okay? So invest in the nice one, well worth it, okay? Look at this, one hand. Oh wait, I have to throw it. Okay, it's trash anyway, all right? Now, here's my last recommendation. If you're doing any work where you're putting in a path, you're putting in a sidewalk, or something like that, you need to compact your ground, okay? This is called a tamper, all right? It does this. It has one job, all right? That's why I'm leaving it till last. This isn't a necessity, but if you're putting in a pathway or something, or a patio, anything that needs some good, stable, flat surface preparation, these things are awesome, okay? Take up space when you're not using them, but when you need them, they're awesome. So, this guy, it's a brand called Razorback. It's 10 inch by 10 inch. This thing's like, I don't know, it's a good like 10 pounds at least, all right? It's all one solid metal piece, all right? Good quality rubber handle, super nice, super strong weld reinforcements. This thing does the job. Basically, you just sit there and you go like this, all right? There's a machine that does this too, but if you're doing it yourself, these things are super nice. They get the job done. They make a super stable surface. You see this sidewalk behind me again? I use this thing. I'm putting a sound foundation down for this sidewalk. Surface preparation is super important for things like this, and you won't be sad in investing in something like this, okay? Or for your friend, right? Okay, so if you're doing any sort of walks, a tamper, super important. All right, guys, that's my summary for, I called it a summary, right? Okay. That's it for the gifts for 2019. I'll have more in 2020, of course, but for now, I hope you enjoy these gift recommendations. Go over to easylivingyards.com/episode 94. And there you'll see all the links for all these gifts we talked about. Go out there, make a positive difference, guys. That's what we're about here, right? And that's what this season's about too. So if you're thinking about gifts, give a gift that's caring. Give a gift that's going to make a difference. Give a gift that's going to last. And you know what? On that note, the best gift you can give, aside from all these things, guys, is give the gift of your help and your care. Okay? I'm serious here, all right? I'm not being warm and fuzzy. Well, okay, maybe a little bit. But here, basically, if you volunteer your time to help somebody with their project. I remember my friend Ed volunteered to help me build my shed. All right, it was super helpful. Ed and my brother came over, and I built most of the shed by myself. They helped me hang the rafters, made a huge difference. I still remember it. So Ed, if you're watching, thank you. Phil, if you're watching, he's my brother. Thank you. And the gift of your help makes a big difference. So sometimes if you don't want it, if maybe you can't afford all these gifts, or maybe you bought one for yourself, right? I won't tell. And then you can spend the time to help somebody out. And time is just as valuable, sometimes more. So going out there, guys, make a positive difference. Have a wonderful gift-giving season. Cheers.